Jungkook goes global. Prestigious Brazil SEC Award confirms his worldwide impact. This is not just a report. This is not just an award story. This is a testament to how one man, with a voice and a heart, quietly reached across oceans, uniting strangers, healing wounds, and leaving a mark without ever asking for recognition. Jeon Jungkook, known to many as the youngest member of BTS, has once again stunned the world. But this time, it wasn't in Seoul, Tokyo, London, or New York. This time, it happened in Brazil. At the 2025 SEC Awards, one of Latin America's most prestigious and respected international ceremonies, Jungkook was named International Artist of the Year, a title few non-Western artists have ever touched. And he wasn't even present. What is the SEC Awards? To understand the weight of this moment, we need to understand the platform. The SEC Awards, hosted annually in Brazil, are more than just a music ceremony. It's a celebration of influence, culture, and impact across entertainment, recognizing artists who have genuinely shifted the global cultural landscape. Past honorees include global names like Beyoncé, Rosalia, Bad Bunny, and The Weeknd. Winning at the SEC Awards means something more than numbers on a chart. It means resonance. It means longevity. It means your work touched people deeply enough to cross language, geography, and time. In 2025, for the first time in its history, the name Jungkook was read aloud on that stage, not as a nominee, but as the winner. Why Jungkook? Why did Jungkook win? What makes him, a Korean artist currently serving in the military, worthy of such an honor in Brazil? The answer lies not in press releases, brand deals, or promotional tours. It lies in something far quieter, genuine connection. Over the past year, Jungkook released a solo album that redefined expectations. His songs, 7, Standing Next to You, 3D, weren't just chart toppers. They became emotional lifelines. Without marketing gimmicks in Latin America, his music still found its way into clubs, classrooms, cafes, and hearts. Fans in Brazil began using his lyrics to learn Korean. Schools incorporated his songs into language curriculums. Street artists painted murals of him on alley walls, while local musicians reimagined his songs in Portuguese covers. One artist in Recife described it best. "I don't understand his words, but I understand his emotion. That's real music." Jungkook didn't win because he tried to be global. He won because he remained human. The moment he won. On the night of the awards, thousands gathered in Sao Paulo. They weren't sure Jungkook would win. He hadn't campaigned. He hadn't posted. He hadn't even acknowledged the nomination, likely unaware, due to his military service. But when his name was announced, the stadium erupted. Not with the screams of casual fans, but with the emotional cry of people who felt seen, understood, and connected by someone who had never set foot on their soil. There was no acceptance speech. No performance. No digital appearance. But the silence said everything. His absence only magnified his presence. Because he didn't need to be there physically. He had already arrived, in spirit, through the lyrics, through the memories, and through the lives he had quietly changed. Global reactions. The global reaction was immediate. News outlets around the world covered the story with shock and admiration. Korean Idol wins Latin America's heart. Jungkook doesn't even show up, and still captures Brazil. The global influence of Jungkook is no longer just a theory, it's reality. In Brazil, television panels and music critics debated what made him different. The answer kept surfacing in one word: authenticity. He didn't come with polished narratives. He didn't ask to be understood. He simply offered his art, raw, vulnerable, and unfiltered. And that was enough. Army Brazil. Behind every global movement is a force often overlooked. In this case, that force is ARMY Brazil. They organized quietly. They voted tirelessly. They rallied local communities. They ran donation drives in his name. They translated his lyrics. They taught others how to pronounce his name properly. To them, Jungkook isn't just a singer. He's a symbol of resilience, love, and hope. When the SEC Awards night arrived, many armies wore shirts that read, "He's in Korea. But his voice is here." And when he won, their tears weren't just of joy. They were tears of affirmation. That loving someone from a distance isn't futile. That being a fan can be powerful. That connection can happen without proximity. What this means for K-pop. This wasn't just a win for Jungkook. It was a win for K-pop. For Korean culture. For non-Western voices in a Western-dominated music world. K-pop has long been dismissed by critics as a passing trend or regional genre. But this moment shattered that notion. Jungkook, without singing in Portuguese, without interviews on Brazilian TV, without attending Latin award shows, won the hearts of an entire continent. Not because he adapted to their culture, but because he stayed true to his own. That is the very essence of globalization, not imitation, but coexistence. The bigger picture. What does this moment tell us? It tells us that in a world that praises volume, humility still matters. That in an industry of self-promotion, quiet authenticity still wins. That when someone creates with intention, the world will listen, eventually. Jungkook never asked to be recognized. But perhaps that's why recognition found him. In one of his live broadcasts, long before his military service, Jungkook once said, "I don't know if I deserve all this. But if one person feels comfort through my music, that's enough." Today, it's no longer just one person. It's millions. Millions across continents, languages, and cultures. And now, one of the world's largest countries, Brazil, has put it into writing. If you felt something when watching that story, not just visually, but emotionally, then you became part of something larger. An experience that reminds us silence can speak. That small movements can hold immense meaning. Thank you for joining us on BTS Fans. We'll see you again in the next exploration, where every moment is something to be felt, not just seen. And remember, true beauty doesn't need to shout to be heard. It only needs a heart willing to feel.